the Blue Sky Ranch. The man in question, Steve DoDa. Child prodigy brought to his mother as a spare. A true competitor, never a true champion. But on this fated night, summer 1992, Steve DoDa, the DoDa man, secured his place in the annals of the Blue Sky Ranch, trying to fit 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. And here's that dramatic footage now from that special day 2 summers ago with Steve DoDa. Share the vomit.
People think.
All right, quiet.
A minute.
Quiet. A little quiet here, please.
Under 30 seconds.
Steve's ready. Everybody. No. Everybody ready? Ready?
Hey.
Ready, set, go! DoDa, 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 DoDa. Fast, quickly! DoDa, 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 DoDa. You look like a fish! DoDa, 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 DoDa. Come on, put your fingers in the throat. Grow up. Go like a man. Yeah, you're one of the nasty boys. Yeah, make it worthwhile.
Oh, hell, anybody can do that.
Hey, I felt that one, man.
That was like Monty Python. The Monty Python movie.
Oh, anybody can do that. You.
I've never said that.
Keep it down.
All right, next. I've never seen that.
Good deal.
One more good one.
Willie, get the wetness on the ground there. Show the wetness there.
Okay, I will. Steve, at the camera on this one. Back up a little way. Back up a little way.
Put the
Back up now. Low, at the camera. Can you get one at the camera? Are you finished?
It was.
We got one little one left.
I've never seen that in my life.
It was incredible. I was most impressed by the mouth expansion. I mean, it looked like he had the jaws of a snake. His mouth literally opened 2 times the size of his head. He could have swallowed a pig whole.
Oh, hell, anybody can do that.
Hey, I felt that one, man. Yeah, I was amazing. It came out like a fire hydrant, basically. Just a steady projection, solid volume, no chunks. We praised him on that. It looked like just a clean flow of foaming liquid.
I don't recall the texture much. It looked pretty fluid to me. I don't know, did it have some good chunks in it or what?
The texture was cool. There was some creamy stuff in there. There were some globs, but mostly it was liquid. It was very runny, colorful kind of.
It was quite coarse. I mean, I didn't actually feel it or anything, but, you know, looked pretty bad.
It was good chunks. I did pick up a little bit of a hint of a Big Mac.
There was no texture to it, but just fluid. It was very clean. I almost was thinking about using it to wash my hands.
Oh, hell, anybody can do that.
Hey, I felt that one, man.
There are 64 ounces of beer, and then puking up 96 ounces of puke. That's a drinking man.
I think he could best be described as a ruminant, which is a regurgitating, masticating animal, somewhat like a cow with 4 stomachs. I've never seen a human being puke like that in my whole life.
Well, I thought that he drank too much beer for the size of his stomach, and maybe if he had more stomachs like a cow, he could have held it down.
What I was thinking was maybe he ought to call Doc Stu up, because maybe he could, like, you know, do something like, you know, sew another stomach in for Steve so that way he can hold the beer next time.
It would probably be better if he had like a cow, like 6 of them, so he can separate everything. He can put a little beer in each one and still get just as strong.
If I were a cow, I'd marry him.
Oh, hell, anybody can do that.
Hey, I felt that one, man.
After the puke came out, you could, for a moment, you could look down his throat and you could actually see his asshole.
I've never seen foam move that fast, especially out of a human being. I'd liken it to The riots of the 60s and 70s with the water cannons. Hell, if they had Steve DoDa on their side, those people would have never gotten their rights.
I swear, though, he must be part fire truck the way he pukes. He's half pumper. There's some pumper in his family background back there.
A very wide stream. Very wide stream. I've watched the video several times, and the stream is quite wide.
I thought that was one of the most effective ways of expelling poison from your body that I've ever seen.
You know, probably about 20 fixture units of vomit came out of his mouth at such a horrendous rate, it actually made a divot in the gravel.
Oh, hell, anybody can do that.
Hey, I felt that one, man.
And not so much the volume as the peristaltic movement he was able to control. You know, Steve's a talented guy, and it's good to see him putting his talents to use in a direction that he's capable with. Steve's all right, you know?
He looked like Bart Simpson throwing up.
Call him V-Man from now on for vomit.
I think he pukes like all the rest of us. I mean, I wouldn't get too excited about it.
If we ever need to put out the campfire in a big hurry, the thing to do is get Steve to come over and stick his fingers down his throat.
He begged for it. I said, Steve, it's probably not a good idea. It's a little too cold. But he said, no, I'm ready. I can do anything. I'm Steve DoDa.
Oh, hell, anybody can do that.
Hey, I felt that one, man.
I just can't imagine what that did to the inside of him. You know, throwing up like that, it was violent. I've never seen anything so violent before. And the amount, it could fill a swimming pool, absolutely.
DoDa, DoDa, DoDa. Velocity, excellent velocity. The speed, the consistency, the color. It was a classic. It'll go down in the Vomitorium Hall of Fame.
He never really was my hero, but I'm thinking about it.
It was one of those magical days of jumping. Skydiving was over for the day, everyone was safe, so we needed a little entertainment. Every once in a while, the greatness comes out in someone. And it did in Steve DoDa that day. Just to entertain his fellow jumpers, he tried to chug about, 64 ounces or so of ice-cold beer. More beer than his stomach could handle, but more enjoyment than you'll ever believe. Thanks, Stevie DoDa. That was a great show.
One more good one. Willie, get the wetness on the ground there. Show the wetness there.
Okay, I will. Steve, at the camera on this one. Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Back up now. Low, at the camera. Can you get one at the camera? Are you finished?
Steve DoDa, share the vomit.
DoDa, 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 DoDa.
You look like a pig.
DoDa, 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 DoDa.
Very, very close.
Willie, try again next week.